Hello everyone, welcome back to Lucky Loads 15, and in this video we're going to be previewing the final day of Royal Ascot, day 5. We'll be going through all 6 races where we'll be previewing the action, and I'll be giving you a selection for each of those races. Before we do that, just want to reflect on how today's selections ran. Not a bad day in the end. We had a few decent each way bets come in. 4 of our 6 selections did place in the race, so that was all good there, and we had a bit of a profitable day in the end. Probably some of the best ones were Appeared. Also as well are Sir Michael Stout ran a Vivacious, I thought ran a good race in the Coronation Stakes. Also as well, Fairyland did okay, finishing in 3rd place. Giuseppe Garibaldi did well as well. So in the end it wasn't a bad day, and De Fede as well just ran outside the place money for most people, so a little bit frustrating there. But hey ho, it was not a bad day today, and we were up on the day compared to some of the other days we were earlier in the week. It was harder earlier in the week, but it was a bit more easier today, but still always a hard meet in Royal Ascot. Anyway, we'll get stuck into the selections tomorrow, where hopefully we can turn some of those decent each ways into some winners. And to kick us off, the first race of tomorrow is the Chesham, the 2:30, and we're going with a horse here called Natalie's Joy. Now 7-4 the bookmakers at the moment, and I have to do this horse because my sister's called Natalie, but that's not exactly why I'm doing it. I think it's definitely the best horse in the race tomorrow. It's trained by Mark Johnston, who already had a winner at the Royal Meeting with Baghdad, and he had another winner today with Main Edition in the Albany Stakes. So he knows how to do it with the young horses on the big occasions. Joe Fannin booked for the ride, good experienced jockey. This horse won very well at Goodwood by 6 lengths on debut, where the form of that race has worked out quite well. The Mick Shannon horse that was towards the back won fairly recently, I believe, at Lingfield. So the form of that race has worked out, and it was in a good time that day. It should be okay, stepping up to 7 furlongs, and I actually backed it that day, I remember as well. It was very well supported just before the offer. It went off at 4-1, I think I was on it about 6-1 that day, so it was a nice performance that day, and I thought was probably the most likeliest winner of the race. If you had to take it on, I quite like the Archie Watson horse. The form of its Carlisle win has been boosted recently, and it was well supported that day, so could be a bit wide open, but I thought Natalie's Joy was definitely the one you had to be with, and a lot of other people seem to like this one as well, and I'm going to stick with Natalie's Joy in the Chesham. Again, it's going to be quite a certainty tomorrow for the Hardwicke in a 305 with a horse here called Crystal Ocean. 8-13 odds on, trained by Sir Michael Stout, who's really starting to find his feet at this Royal Meeting for his season. Ryan Moore booked for the ride. This horse is 2 wins from 2 this season. Ran a blinder in the St Leger, where the form of that race has probably been the best form of any race this year for the amount of winners it's produced. So form that's red hot, and it should have too much class for the rest of its opponents tomorrow, and I don't think we need to really say any more on that. We then go to the Windsor Castle, the 340, the 3rd selection, going with a horse here called James Watt. Now you might be asking why I'm going for this one at 22-1. It's trained by Michael Bell, and Hayley Turner's booked for the ride. Now I've actually backed James Watt the last twice, and I've put it up the last twice it's won. It won at Windsor last time out, giving away a penalty, and it won really nicely on debut at Brighton, so it's worked out really well, and it's quite an impressive horse. It's not maybe the sexiest on pedigree, but it's a very game horse, and it's improving as well. That was an improving run at Windsor last time out. It's got not a bad draw tomorrow towards the stand side. It's going to be near the Wesley Ward horse as well, which might go out in front, and it might use that as a speed horse to kind of peg back. So I thought really 22-1 tomorrow with a few 5 and 6 places out there. I thought it was a good each way horse, and I wouldn't be surprised if it made the frame, and who knows, it could even win. So that's going to be the selection there. We then go to the Diamond Stakes. I know it's all about really the 3, that is Harry Angel, Redkirk Warrior, and also as well Merchant Navy, but I like the Tinman here. He's 8-1 bookmakers at the moment. There will be a few bookmakers paying that extra place. He's trained by James Fanshawe. Tom Queally booked for the ride. This horse won this race last year in really good style. He's got a fantastic record at the track, like everybody knows. Ascot's his favourite track, and the conditions will be up his street tomorrow. Good firm is his ground. He won on his reappearance last time out in a listed race at Windsor, and we put him up that day, and the class got him through that day. The second horse has subsequently franked the form, and I think he's going to be reopposing him again tomorrow, but I thought the Tinman was overpriced at 8-1, and for me, I'm going to be backing him there tomorrow. We then go to the Wokingham in the 5 o'clock, I should say. And we're going with a horse here called Victory Angel, who I think could be a bit of a gamble tomorrow. Trained by Roger Varian, Sylvester de Souza booked for the ride. Finished 4th on its reappearance, which I thought wasn't a bad race at Newmarket. Most of this best horse's form has come on good firm ground, and Sylvester de Souza has won 2 of the horse's career wins in its career so far with Victory Angel, so positive jockey booking for it. It's going to probably go quite well tomorrow, I thought, and be well supported. It's 14-1 with bookmakers at the moment, and it looks like they've targeted this race for it. It's going to be a good supported horse, I think, tomorrow. Victory's Angel would be for me in the Wokingham. I would be against that really short priced favourite at the moment in a big competitive handicap like this. So for me, I'm going to be going for Victory Angel. We then go to the Queen Alexandra Stakes, last race of Royal Ascot for 2018, and hopefully we've had a few winners on the day by then. So it's going to be Fun Mac, the last selection here. 14-1 bookmakers at the moment, trained by Hughie Morrison, who does well over the longer distances. Jim Crowley, who had a winner today with Equitarian, is booked for the ride. Now this horse finished second last time out in the Chester Cup, where it ran against Magic Circle, who went and won the Henry II Stakes at a Sandown towards the end of May in commanding style, and that was a good performance that day. It ran really well at the Royal Meeting last year, finishing in 5th place, and I thought, even though it might not be the classiest animal in the race tomorrow, it had a fair each way chance. It's 14-1 bookmakers. Again, you should get 4 places out there with a few bookmakers. I've seen Sky Bet paying that, and that's going to be the selection to round off the last tip of Royal Ascot 2018. So there are all the tips for tomorrow's Royal Ascot. Let us know in the comments box below who you're going to be backing tomorrow. Also, as well, for those who aren't aware, I do work for the Punters page, where I do some tipping over there. I've got my usual spectacular Saturday 6, which are tips away from Royal Ascot tomorrow, so go and check it out if you haven't done so already. So that's all I've got to say. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. You can also check me out as well on Twitter at LuckyLoads15. Please gamble responsibly. Hopefully we can have some winners tomorrow, and we'll be seeing you soon.